The final. The final round had come. The courtyard was silent, tense with reverence. Banners hung motionless in the evening air as Lord Jambotron, commander of the Green Dragon army, stepped forward, hammer in hand, face set not with pride, but focus. Across from him stood Simnel of Poland, the silver tactician, calm as still water, eyes locked on his friend and his final opponent. They had shared meals, strategies, and their respect grew in the fire of battle. But tonight, there could only be one victor. Juliet stood at the edge of the stands, heart pounding, eyes fixed on Jambotron. She clutched the edge of the railing, lips parted, not in fear, but admiration. She should have been cheering for Simnel, for duty, but her heart had already chosen otherwise. The horn blew, steel rang out loudly. They met in a storm of motion, Jambotron's blows heavy, unrelenting, shaped by battlefield brutality. Simnel's counters were crisp and calculating, shaped by years of dueling discipline. The first clash sent shockwaves through the crowd, Jambotron's hammer against Simnel's sword, sending the sparks flying. But Simnel absorbed the hits, his wrist turning the force aside with an expert twist. "You're stronger than I thought," Simnel remarked, catching his breath as they separated. "And you're faster than you look," Jambotron replied, eyes narrowing as they both lunged again. The second clash was faster, more vicious. Simnel darted forward, aiming a precise strike at Jambotron's side, but Jambotron twisted, deflecting the blow with a heavy parry. Their weapons locked briefly, blades grinding together, and in an instant they broke apart. Jambotron spun, delivering a savage backhanded strike to Simnel's ribs. The blow landed with a sickening thud, and Simnel stumbled. He was gasping for air. He retaliated, slashing at Jambotron's legs, but the Dragon Lord leapt back just in time, his feet sliding across the stone as he regained his footing. "You still have fight left?" Jambotron taunted, his grin belaying the pain. It was too enduring. "Don't count me out just yet," Simnel shot back. They circled each other, both bloodied, breath heavy, yet neither willing to yield. The third clash was brutal, a true test of their wills. Jambotron raised his weapon high, delivering a thunderous overhead strike aimed to cleave Simnel in two. But Simnel ducked beneath the arc, spinning low, and rising with a deadly slash aimed at Jambotron's exposed flank. The sword cut deep, Jambotron's breath rushed out. In a pained gasp, blood seeped from the wound. But instead of retreating, Jambotron surged forward, his hammer sweeping with crushing power, forcing Simnel to backstep after backstep. Each blow was heavier than the last, and the sound of the metal clanging rang through the courtyard like a drumbeat. With a mighty roar, Jambotron smashed his hammer against Simnel's guard, knocking the blade from his hand. The crowd gasped. Simnel stood there for a moment, disarmed, chest heaving as he caught his breath. I yield, he said, nodding. "You've earned it." Jambotron lowered his hammer, swaying barely, standing by himself. "You almost had me." They embraced, warriors and now brothers, as the crowd erupted in thunderous cheers. Juliet ran to the edge of the arena, beaming, her heart no longer torn, as Lord Jambotron turned to meet her gaze. Bloodied and bruised, he smiled faintly, because victory meant nothing if you lost yourself in the process. But tonight, he had won honour, friendship, and something far deeper. The final fight between Lord Jambotron and Simnel truly captured the Queen's focus. She watched them clash again and again, their weapons ringing in a storm of fury and skill. As they fought, she couldn't help but impressed by the strength of their bond, a deep-rooted respect for each other. Yet as Simnel was disarmed and yielded, Isadora felt a fleeting twinge of concern. Jambotron's victory meant strength, but strength alone wasn't enough to rule. She had learned that lesson a long time ago. When the fight ended and the two knights embraced each other, her lips tightened once more. The Green Dragon army was growing in power, and she knew that their alliance, formed through battles and blood, was something to be reckoned with. She would not allow the Lion Knights to be overshadowed by them. Victory was sweet, but the war was far from over. The Queen sat back in her seat, watching the celebrations around her. Her gaze hardened and a quiet, determined thought echoed in her mind. Alliances could be forged, but only the strongest would stand at the end of it all, and she would make sure it was the Lion Knights that were the strongest.